My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa.
As I say, dick.
Welcome to episode 108 of the Allegiance podcast. And this week we're going to do something that's not related to the dragon as per se, but is in the same toy line as the dragon. It's the Necronominus wave, because Rich has finally received his. The retailer street date over here in Europe finally hit. And Rich got some of his figures.
Yeah, I was going to say,
right?
yeah, he's received some of his order. There's still a herd of conibus waiting to come to me at some point.
So they have a little delay in the horses.
The horses, Bishop's delayed as well, yeah, and then the big fella, Sir Greg, is also delayed.
Okay, so the big ones. I guess they must be coming in a separate shipment or something. I don't know how
yeah,
that
I think
works.
they were done by their second factory, weren't they? So I think that's
I think they have
together.
They have two factories, or I don't know if they have two, but they have a separate factory for the oversized figures. Yeah, that's right. And Mal, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh off our episode last week, we have to put up with Rich again this week.
Yeah,
We had
for the viewers and the listeners. I was watching these jokers interview Mr. Gerard last week, and it got like 30 seconds in, and I was just getting slagged off. I was like, "Come on!" It's like messaging them, going like, "What the hell?"
Well, it's like this week I asked you boys if you've went for the intro and you said no. And last week I couldn't really ask Jeremy, so I just had to go with something that came off the top of my head. And if all else fails, it's slag Rich. That's how it works.
I'll be the butt of the jokes. That's fine.
John's got it in his head that we're here to do anything other than like make stupid comments and
Don't worry, everybody. I'll get my own back on John at Legion's Con when he's fast asleep and I just start opening boxes next to his ear. The crinkle of a Cosmic Legion coming out.
I'll hopefully be so comatose that it won't matter. But yeah, in absentia, even so, Rich, you get slagged.
Ice cold shower. Sorry.
No. We need to. Well, actually, with Legion's Con, we must be getting. I guess maybe after the dragon stuff, or maybe between now and the end, we'll get also confirmation of the whole Legion's Con thing and the hotel discount code for the hotel and all that kind of stuff. Or
maybe that's the fourth stretch goal. The fifth stretch goal. 4,000 stretch goal.
Well, if it doesn't reach, you just have to pay full price for the hotel. It's just tough.
Yeah. You get your room thrown in as well with the dragon.
And also, I think thanks to all the extra people that watched last week, we had much more reviews than normal on YouTube. Over 1,200 as at this point in time, and we also had more audio listeners than normal. So thanks, Jeremy, for boosting us up, and thanks Beyithirr, I think, for boosting us up mostly, probably.
I was telling anyone that would listen at home, at work, anybody, that I'm now an internet sensation. Because we've had
and you worked on the show.
Yeah, and I wasn't even on the show, do you know what I mean?
My voice is in the intro.
I thought that's why we got more listeners, to be honest with you.
Cheers, Mal.
Viewers.
So yeah,
if you're watching on YouTube, to you, Mal.
So if you did stick around from last week to this week, this is the normal shite you got to put up with. So, last week we were on our best behavior because of Jeremy and, being nice to him. And he's given us some great info about the dragon and all behind the scenes stuff. So, we can't be a-holes. But now it's just the three of us. We can go back to that again. Yeah.
I was joking with my wife. It was like, if I'm going to miss one, that's probably a good one to miss, because you guys were just sensible, asked sensible questions, let Jeremy talk. I'd have been trying to be funny. It disrupted the thing. It's like that.
But it is always the tricky one when you have like an interview. It's a bit different when you have like a couple of guests, like people from the community. That's one thing. But when you have an interview with someone from the studio, or you're trying to get specific information, or let them talk, when there is three of us on, sometimes it's like, well, one of us has to ask the questions, and the other two kind of don't want to interrupt the other guy, the interviewee. So it's very tricky to get the balance there. And maybe it wasn't a big deal that it was only me and Mal for once, Rich. but you're back to rescue us this week. So that's the main point.
We shouldn't mention backs.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm back despite my back's best efforts. My back is knackered at the moment.
Well, you keep going to this giant dude that stamps all over your back, and
I do.
maybe you should
Lovely-
give him a miss. You know,
Yeah, lovely 6'6" Adam. He's a lovely guy. We have a lovely chat, but he inflicts some serious pain on me.
yeah. And we won't talk about the England-Wales rugby.
Oh, Jesus. All the football. Can we just skip sport, pretend it didn't happen this last weekend?
Actually saw today that Ireland and football, which I'm not really that into Ireland football. I mean, you know, I'll watch it occasionally, but they're playing Luxembourg in a friendly in June, just announced.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on here in Luxembourg. So I'm going to bring my kids to it, or at least Ben wants to go. He's been begging me to bring him to a football match.
So you're going to get him a Luxembourg kit?
No, Ireland.
Oh, John. He's born and bred in Luxembourg.
Yeah, but they're
I mean, they're not.
cool.
They're terrible, but still.
I mean, Ireland aren't much better these days. But
No. Yeah. You're probably better off supporting Ireland in rugby and Luxembourg. I don't know. Find an English relation to get him someone to support that might actually win something. Or Germany. Germany are just there. Of course, they win stuff. Yeah. But,
German
no, we don't have any German relations, so it doesn't really make sense. Actually, when I came over here first, the World Cup was on. I think it was 2006 World Cup, maybe. And I went to a bar to watch a game with a couple of English guys I worked with. And it was full of Luxembourgish people supporting England. Absolutely. Yeah. And I was talking to a few of them, and I was like, do you have an English parent or something? No, just love England. And it was kind of a little bit like, I don't like Germany, so I'm supporting England. There was two camps. There's obviously a camp that supports Germany as well. There is people here that like follow Bayern München and all that kind of stuff, and Borussia Dortmund and all that kind of stuff. So they probably support Germany outside of Luxembourg. They probably support Luxembourg first, but Luxembourg's never in the big tournaments, so you got to pick a second team.
I remember many years ago, I was travelling up to Wales, and the Six Nations were on, or probably the Five Nations might even be in those days. And it was, old. Do you know what I mean? When I played rugby at school, it was still 4 points for a try. That's how old I am.
Still amateur.
Yeah, basically. But anyway, so I stopped off in a little pub in Hereford on the way up just to grab a bite to eat for lunch. And they had the Wales-France game on. And I lasted about 5 minutes in the pub, and the amount of anti-Welsh sentiment that was going on there. The entire pub full of Englishmen were all supporting France.
Wow.
Just going for Wales, like everything. I was just like, yeah, I'm gone. Or I'm going to start a fight here. So I need to leave.
It's incredible. I actually found, I used to go to the rugby when I lived in Dublin, and I found that the Wales-Ireland rivalry was much bigger than the Wales-England among the supporters. The English, and I think that maybe the English rugby supporters that travel over to Ireland, for example, the travelling sport, I think they're more posh blokes, So they're just over for a bit of crack, and they're not really, they're lovers, not fighters. So they were having just great crack. Whereas I think the Welsh, it's a more working class game, rugby, and so the diehards are coming over, and they want their team to win. So there was no big deal in it, but there was just a bit more needle in it. There was a bit of slagging and a bit of it was. Whereas the English was way more friendly. Now football, on the other hand, they ripped up the seats once when they come over here. We had to cancel the game. 95.
I remember going to watch a Wales-Scotland football game in Cardiff. And I went along with an English friend of mine. And before we got to the stadium, I said to him, look, there's going to be a lot of anti-English chanting and that sort of stuff. And he's like, well, but it's Wales-Scotland. They'll be having to go at each other. I was like, no, they won't. And we got in, and it was just 90 minutes of anti-English chanting from both sets of supporters.
So sad.
I'm not sure anyone was even watching the game. It was just like full on.
I mean, if I was English there, I'd just take the compliment. It's like, you guys, you care so much about me. You don't even care about each other.
Because Wales won 4-0. It was a cracking result. But yeah, people were still watching.
Right, now that we've lost all our listeners and viewers, we can get on to the main part of the show. So, Rich, as he said, he doesn't have the big figs, but that's okay. Myself and Mal can fill in. And first we should get to dragon update. So the first update here, Mal, was that we get Sir Bengar unlocked immediately at 2,000 units. So I don't know. I'm not taking any credit here, but I was begging Jeremy for the soft goods like really badly, like kind of desperation style.
Wow.
I'm sure you were embarrassed me when you listened back, Rich. If you got that far in the show.
No,
The
what's
soft
the whole
goods
thing?
are still a stretch goal, though, aren't they? So it is just the
But it's now
figure.
it's now 2,500
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
3,000. So
Yes.
that's already,
The
and
orders
we
have
have
really
a now,
ramped up, haven't they?
and they now have a new mystery goal at 4,000. So maybe they're thinking with the way the progress is going, they're like, well, we might get to 4,000. So they're probably beavering away, finalizing whatever that might be, and will probably only reveal it if they get there.
I don't influence the Four Horsemen, but if the mystery turns out to be a barbarian on fire, I might just back the dragon anyway, even though I've got no real.
So there he is. That was a beautiful picture from their website. And here is the current state of play as we record this on Tuesday of this week. I expect the dragon probably to be funded by the time you listen to this on the day it comes out on Friday. We are now fully funded on the flames. So Fiery Breath is going to get made if the dragon gets made, which we can assume it will. And Fiery Breath is over the 1,000 needed, but still has to bit to go to get to the 1,250 to unlock all the extra accessories and pieces that come with the Flaming Knight. But the Flaming Knight's unlocked now as well.
Yes.
The kind of base figure for that. Beyithirr is at 1,815 units. So what's that, 185 to go? 91%. So that's pretty good. And it's on day 11 of 30. So I think at that progress, I mean, obviously it's not going to be steady the whole way through. I mean, there was a jump from yesterday to today because of the news we just talked about. But that looks good. And then the wings is 82% at 817. And they need the same 1,000 to unlock and 1,250 to get to the stretch goal, which is the extra bits for the skeleton, the burn skeleton. That would come with that.
Yeah, no, it's the zombie with the wings, isn't it?
Oh, is it zombie with the wings?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, Ashen Skeleton is 3,000
yes.
with Beyithirr. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, he came down as well. He was, I guess, 3,500 previously. So yeah, looking good.
Yeah.
Could be a good bit of value here. And even more importantly for us, the exchange rate is going down. So euro and dollar are going up against our euro and British pound are going up against the dollar. So if we can kind of sit tight on that for a few days and see where that takes us, that could be good, no?
I may have jumped already.
Yeah,
maybe
we
if it
should of
comes
course
down enough. I'll get a second one.
we should of course be going in, to get this over the line, but at the same time, needs must in terms of the finances and the cash flows, and yeah, my wife did tell me she had a dream about the dragon the other night, so I think we're getting it. I think it
sounds positive.
That sounds positive. It wasn't a bad dream, so yeah, we might even stretch all the way to epic wings, because Fiery Breath is the definite, no matter what. If I'm getting the dragon, I'm getting the both. So yeah,
I've been surprised actually how many people from the UK on the UK group. There's at least half a
There's
dozen
been a
people
few, hasn't there?
have said, "Yeah, I've gone for it," sort of thing. And it's
I
like,
think it's just such a marquee piece, and people like dragons. I mean, Game of Thrones is pretty popular. Dungeons and Dragons is very popular. It's also the type of thing that can fit in at any scale,
Yeah. And it could be just a piece on its own as well, can't it? For some people, who may sell off the figures and just get the dragon. I think the big thing is getting it outside of the Legion's community, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, and I've seen a few.
Maybe go on a few more shows like ours, but outside of the lead, like more general toy shows, if you can get onto that.
Yeah. I haven't seen Robo's show for a couple of weeks, but I presume he's talked about it.
He's talked about it, but if he had someone from the Four Horsemen on, maybe that would be even better.
I don't think he's talked about it since it's gone live, has he?
Is he not? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not sure.
Bill from Dorkler is doing great updates. Billy Beige is doing great updates. Curtis is on every live stream going about it. 1-6 Shooter Trevor and their Legion's Lounge was talking about it last night. So
we'll bring something.
There's plenty of coverage. There's plenty of coverage.
We need a celeb. We need somebody who's been a closet Legions fan for years and suddenly puts it on their Instagram or something like that. So they're 2 million followers. And
one of the big Warhammer YouTubers, Henry Cavill, put it on his Instagram. He's a Warhammer guy. No, he's a Space Marine guy, isn't he? Or
he is, but I think he's just a geek. Full stop. So
yeah, he does collect fantasy as well.
As well, yeah. Oh, okay.
What are they called? I forget what they're called.
Of course, it would be great, but it's easier said than done. But it could just snowball. I expect once it does go over the 2,000, there might be another little run of people. Yeah. So we shall see. It's all very exciting. And Rich is not involved. Kind of.
I'm not. I would love to get it, but I just don't have the display space. There's just no room. I've had to get rid of Masterpiece Combiner Transformers before now because of no space. The Galactus HasLab, and he's one of my favorite Marvel characters because of no space. I just can't fit it in anyway.
Now, I've been doing this podcast for a while with you, and I still expect on the last day to go, yeah, sorry guys, I caved. I'll figure it out in 2 years' time. No. No.
No, okay. It's a sad no, but I will, I'll visit Mal's. I'll go up to Mal and just give his dragon a big hug.
Well, I'm contemplating. I keep staring at my coffee table, being like, if I cut the legs off and work out how to put a cover over it, that might be where it gets displayed.
That's sweet. Or maybe I'll drive over with my dragon. We can have a little battle.
That's the other
just
thing.
Find a little green area somewhere outside your house.
Yeah,
like a little park or something, and just battle away.
Hello, Governor. This is Wholesome Warlock, and you're listening to the Euro Legions podcast, isn't it?
Right, on to Necronominus Wave, the Necronominus Wave. So we're going to just talk a little bit about in-hand impressions. I used, for the purposes of the stream, I used some pictures from the website because I didn't get my stuff together to get pictures of my own figures. So we'll be perfectly fine with these. These are, they look like the prototypes, the figures. So they look exactly like the figures that you see on the website. So no misleading stuff here. The first one is Sir Gideon. So initial impressions of him, Mal?
Fantastic. It's funny because seeing a lot of people going about Sir Alderic, and actually, I'm like, what? Because to me, Sir Gideon puts him in the shade in terms of the soft goods, the armor, everything about him is just awesome. Another one with the head sculpt that is just up there. I've got the armorless head sculpt on him. I think.
Yes, this beautiful one.
That's
here
the
there.
one. Yeah, that's basically how I've got mine displayed. Except his sword's in the other hand and his shield's in the other hand. But otherwise, that's exactly how I've got him displayed.
You don't want him to be a lefty, no?
I don't know. Yeah, perhaps that I hadn't even thought about it.
Little OCD. Well, it could be to do with the big pauldron and the small pauldron there as well.
Yeah, I do kind of imagine the most armoured side would be his shield side, but yeah. People
Yeah, I have
would
him
be
down.
right on that.
I have him down as the best knight figure we've got so far.
Yeah.
I think he is. He just blew me away with the combination of the armor and the soft goods, and how the soft goods fit and go around that little elasticated thing around the torso. Looks great. Absolutely perfect figure. You, Rich?
I love him. Absolutely love him. I've got mine displayed with the helmet, but I'm 100% intend using that unhelmeted head on a different figure. It won't be on a shelf anywhere near Gideon, but it's such a good head sculpt that I've got to use it again.
Well, I bought a second one, having seen him now in person, to use the head sculpt in Cosmic, although I'm sure we'll get it done somehow in Cosmic again. And, various other parts for other things. So.
Yeah, it's...
No humans in space.
Keep Cosmerium human free. You know the hashtag, everybody.
They know it now.
They know it now. But it's a sculpting on this one. It's like we all saw the pauldron and how cool the pauldron was. But then the elbows, the elbow armor's got like eagle, Aethron sculpted on it and that sort of stuff. Little stuff that the horseman just didn't need to do, but just really elevates it to that next level it's a piece of art, isn't it? It's not just a figure anymore. It's just a piece of art.
Yeah, the depth to the paint is really good. There's loads of depth on that gold, which isn't there in some of the other figures that I will mention for sure. But on him, they've gone all out there with that. And I also like the belt.
Yes.
And it's really fantastic. And how you use it with the sword, how you loop the sword, or what's the thing, the scabbard that the sword goes into. You loop it into the belt here with that little loop at the top.
I found to my cost earlier that you don't try and push that through the loopholes on the belt because they just tear off the belt.
Did you? So you
they
did
pop back
some
on
damage?
Fine. No, they pop back on fine. It's just they're just pieces glued in, sort of thing. So you can just pop it back.
Okay,
in, it's fine. But how good is that scabbard though?
Brilliant. Yeah,
it's like next level. It's not just like a basic plastic piece. It's like just a really cool sculpted, the textures, everything. It's for one of those famous swords in Mythos to have that sort of scabbard sheath, whatever you're going to call it, with it is incredible.
Yeah, it almost feels like leather, doesn't it?
It does. And it's the little touches. I mean, with all the figures in this set, but the blue loincloth to just break up the white soft goods. Again, another company might not have done that, but it just gives it that little bit of oomph sort of thing and just draws the eye a little bit more. So I love that as well. Yeah,
and then you got the blue on the pauldron here, the little blue kind of eye almost.
Yeah.
So, and that pauldron is amazing. I guess they might reuse it on Aethon. If they do Aethon, when they do Aethon too.
Possibly.
Although, would it be a bit egotistical?
A little bit narcissistic on his behalf. It's like, yeah, look, I got my own face on a pauldron. There we go. Although, speaking of somebody who puts my own face on a t-shirt,
wouldn't be the first in the fandom or in the line to have themselves.
Funnily enough, as we've been talking, Gwendolyn, who stood next to Gideon, has just thrown herself over.
Has she? Talk about me.
Yeah, jealous. Pure jealousy, that is. That's the main reason I got rid of Gwendolyn, just because she wouldn't stay up no matter what I did. And I was like, you're gone. Enough.
She hasn't fallen over for ages.
Must be warming up in the UK.
Yeah, there's been a few wobbles.
We went to have 20 degrees on Thursday here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's freezing here at the moment. Jeez. So annoying. We kind of got out of the winter and we're gone back into it again for a while.
Yeah, we've had some bitterly cold nights, like minuses overnight, which is not that common here. And then then all of a sudden it's jumping up to 20 during the day.
Right. Bishop then. Bishop is perfect. I love him. I think it's my favorite horse so far. I think they've just ironed out all the kinks in the previous horses, and Bishop is the result of that. It's just the small, tiny things, like how the little stirrups and things go into the holes. Just they're seamless now. There's no on my Balius, for example, those would pop out fairly regularly. The little bedroll thing at the back, that works fine. The armor over the face and the armor on the neck, that all just pops in nicely, works really well. And then, of course, the soft goods are incredible. Really, really well done. And they look great. And a perfect match for Gideon. So, I don't know. Mal?
I must admit, I've not opened him. He's gone straight in the cupboard in his box, just because I haven't got the space for the horses, other than the 4 horsemen and with their horses. So all my horses are in boxes still. But yeah, from what I did see of him, yeah, like you say, he looks fantastic. That white paint.
Look at that picture there.
Is fantastic.
The jousting spear, I know it's probably accurate, but I'd like if it had a pointy thing as well as the kind of more blunt looking thing. I don't know.
Is it just a normal end, just a blunted one, is it, John?
Yeah, this thing.
Oh, yeah. You could do a bit of damage with that, like a cat claw sort of stab it into you.
Yeah, but like if they had a spear, so it comes off, but if they had a spear attachment, would maybe look even better.
Yeah, a battle attachment as opposed to a jousting attachment sort of thing.
Yeah, and there is a kind of a speary, spiky piece with one of the other figures, but it doesn't fit.
Oh, John, you know where it is? Spears don't hold skeletons down, so you're probably thinking there's no point.
So they need like a kind of a forked thing.
Yeah, exactly. You need a forked thing to hold them down.
I don't know if he's jousting with, well, maybe he is, but I don't know if he's jousting with skeletons or if it's just for doing a bit of messing, tournament stuff. I don't know.
Well, one of my conibus will be a skeleton, have a skeleton knight on him, so yeah, I can set up a little joust.
Nice. Right, Necronominus, the big man. How did we find him? He's not the easiest figure to deal with, as a lot of these big ones like that are.
I actually generally found it. I was going to say it's more surprisingly easy to put together than I thought it was going to be. The one bit I had a problem with was one of his wings, the bit that clips in. That just kept every time I moved him and tried to adjust him, I'd catch that and it would come out. But generally, I actually found him easier to put together than I thought. Really, such an impressive looking figure though as well. Once he's all together.
And the soft goods, you didn't have too much problem with?
No. As I say, I was expecting to really struggle. Maybe plugging it back in, the second one back in, was a bit more tricky, but no, generally it was all right. I did okay.
And you, Rich?
I haven't put the soft goods in yet because I only opened him like 2 hours ago sort of thing. But it's good that Mal's saying they're not too bad because they look quite daunting when you look at them. You're like, holy, so-and-so.
Yeah, I left mine for a couple of days before I opened him, but I didn't mess with the soft goods until a couple of days later.
Well,
I love the fact in the... Oh, sorry, Mal, you go.
Well, I was going to say initially when looking at him, I didn't realise that those long gold bits unplug. So I was like, how on earth do you put the soft goods on? And then when it registered, they unplugged. It was like, oh, right, like that.
Yeah, that was my exact reflection as well. Just rang a bell straight away when you said that. I was like, yeah, I was looking for where to plug in the soft goods. And then I just pulled the thing and I was like, oh, there. Feet not attached in the package. That was weird.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. I
was looking at him going, oh, no, I don't. I have a QC issue. Oh, no, they're there.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It just shows how big the head dresses, isn't it? That he can't fit that figure with feet in the box. It's just like, no, she's too big.
So big, his head is so big, his ego is so big that to lop his feet off. My only complaint about this guy is that the silver is just a flat, plain silver, no weathering on it. Lacks a bit of depth for me when you compare it to Gideon, for example. Now I know there's so much more detail on the rest of the figure that it's a nitpick, but if there was anywhere to improve him, it would be that. That's easily done maybe for someone like me that customizes, although I probably won't customize my Necronominus if I just have the one. But yeah, that's the only thing. But I understand why they did it, because it doesn't really take away from the shelf presence. You can't notice it there. This is really when you have it up close and you're examining it. The God Razor, his weapon, this massive scythe.
So good.
Bonkers. Yeah. I love it so much.
I know they talked about the fact that it was a mini Necronominus holding a scythe, and we saw pictures of it, but until you have it in hand and actually study the detail, it's just insane.
Yeah, and even that extra bit of stuff around the where the blade attaches to the handle, like there's so much sculpt detail there and everything, and yeah, that's just incredible.
No, amazing figure.
Yeah, amazing figure, amazing picture there from Trevor from the website. There's been a bunch of amazing pictures. My initial plan was to get some more pictures from the community for this, and I just ran out of time. I didn't. I had too many other things on, so I thought it was simple. Just keep it simple. And then I was like, well, maybe I have to ask people or let them know. I was like, okay, I get the official photography. I will go from there.
So what little insert did you guys get below your crown?
Yes, interesting. I got the what did you get, Mal? Sorry, because
I've forgotten.
Didn't know what
think it was. I think it was the not the.
You got the other one for me.
Not the. I think
I got
teeth,
the.
Didn't I?
Yeah, I got the skeleton head. That's what I got.
Yeah, I got the teeth, so we didn't get the full set.
We didn't get the eyeball.
No,
I thought we were going.
I was hoping I'd get the eye one, but no, it was the teeth.
I have a 2-pack here that I'm probably going to sell. Maybe I should check. I can't open it though.
No, don't open that. No.
Well, I've got an extra one that I'm in an R because I got cocked up how to get because I wanted the 2-pack. And
and instead you got an extra.
With an extra Necronominus. I thought I ended up with an extra Conobus as well, but I did. But I knew that one. I thought I had another one, but I didn't. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. Part of me's like, well, shall I just sell it and get the money? But there's so many cool bits there that could be used on other things, and cool customs.
Yeah.
Those
it's like
for
with
example.
Poxus is the same.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant figure on his own, but then he's also a brilliant custom fodder figure. So.
Yeah. And that's it.
So we have the Dark 4 now. There has also been people, which could have got one of those photos, people posting their Dark 4 on the horses on the shelf. That's really awesome to see.
Yeah, see, none of my Dark 4 are going to be sat on their horses. The horses are all being repurposed for other things.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that a few times. Right.
All right, I'll mention it again. Sorry.
It's okay. No, I'm just saying. You're being consistent for once.
I know this is blasphemy. I know this is blasphemy because a lot of people like Arathea, but I actually think the other 3 really show him off. In terms of how far just from him to Alithia, and then Alithia to Poxus, and Poxus to Necronominus. Personally,
I still think Arthur is great. I mean, he still has some unique pieces.
Oh, he's got some.
Obviously the head sculpt and the pauldrons and some of the armor. So
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. He's got some excellent bits, and so the head, and all that's very cool. But I don't know. There's just something about the other three that puts them above him. And Necronominus, without doubt, of those three is just
you're just pissed that Arthur wasn't translucent flame. Only the flame at the top. You wanted the whole body and everything to be.
Mal wanted a translucent Athon. He's not happy until he gets that.
Oh no, I know now. I really, really like Athon. He's possibly my favourite of the horses, except for Conibus. So those two are probably.
And here is
Conibus.
An excellent skeleton horse. First comment, I mean, I'd seen it a bit in the reviews because I saw some reviews, of course, before I got mine. I couldn't believe that it is actually pretty much, it's a whole fully new sculpt. Back when we saw it at Legion's Con, I was like, oh yeah, they've put skeleton bits and some of the regular horse together, and it looks really cool. Wow, it looks cool. And didn't think much more about it. And now I'm looking at it in hand and I'm like, wow, this is like, there is fleshy, meaty bits on it, but they're just sculpted on and it's like decayed flesh. It's not like perfectly.
I took them as being like the muscles between the bones, or not muscles, the ligaments and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not decayed flesh. But yeah, you're probably right. It's probably decayed flesh.
Yeah. So he's great. I'd recommend heating him up just the first time. You're not going to break him probably, but it's just a little bit thinner than the other horses on the legs. So just heat those joints up just a small bit, just a bit of a hairdryer or something. I think that'll be fine. But he stands up great. Really easy to kind of articulate once you move it the first time. All the bits that you get on him.
That's right.
Really great.
Second one. Going to make a barbarian horse, which was Eric Treadaway's suggestion way back when. It was
a barbarian horse.
Yeah, if you buy it, he suggested buying a second. I forgot what he's called. The All-Star 6 horse. Deacon, a second Deacon, which is essentially
Balius,
isn't it? Yeah.
And giving it to the Conibus armor to give yourself a sort of barbarian-esque horse. So that.
Okay, so you swap over the saddle and all the bits.
Because it's got all the bones and it's a more rustic-looking tack, whatever you call it.
Yeah, no, I've had Conibus on my painting desk behind me here for maybe a week with Necronominus sitting on top of him. No bother, so I think they'll be safe on the shelf. So, looking good. So yeah, we have the skeleton horse, amazing, and the reuse that they could use out of that for different stuff is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Roll on the undead centaur.
That might be a centaur I get. So there's the glamour shot. And here's another skeleton lady, kind of skeleton. She's not a skeleton really, but she's more undead, zombie-ish. Belulet. It's a 2.0 figure. Did you open it, Rich?
I did. And unfortunately, I think it's one of the best action figures I've ever seen, despite being a 2.0. So that goes in my normal theory of no 2.0. Oh, this is amazing.
Well, that matches a bit with my first comment on her, which is she's the best 2.0 figure in the line, in my opinion. And her and her dog. Is it a dog? Am I allowed to say dog? Chimera. Okay. With a bunch of heads that you can have so much fun attaching to the Tuberculi, which we get onto later. Our friend Brett Stoddart has kept us entertained with these pictures of the Chimera and Tuberculi combined. So what makes her the best 2.0, or what makes her the best action figure, Rich?
Just all the parts. I mean, that that viper skull, I think, is my favorite thing I think ever that Eric has sculpted. It's so good, and all it is the tail on the chimera, but it's so good. With like, you know, the jaws hinging open to like swallow its prey and that sort of thing, and the fact I just love it. I mean, the chimera as a whole is an amazing figure. Belulet herself. I mean, she's cool anyway. I'll be displaying her with a noseless face. I think that works better as a ghoul. But the fact that she comes with the blue or the leather hands, that's very clever. Her belt with all the little, again, these are all pictures you've seen before, but when you see them in hand, the belt with all the little skulls on it and that sort of thing, and there's a hand, it's so cleverly done. I hadn't spotted the fact she had a whip before I actually opened it and had it in hand, which is great. You know, she's a beastmaster, therefore you need a whip to control them, sort of thing. So that's just another great touch.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. The whip is kind of attached to...
It is, yeah.
But works great.
Yeah.
And,
but it's the I mean, the figure's great, but it's the parts that just take it to that next level.
Yeah.
You know, the vulture, the snake in the cave. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible figure.
Yeah. And that tail is articulated in just the middle there, but it's also quite bendy, so you can do bits with it. But yeah, definitely a lot of fun to be had with this figure. And that's an accessory with the figure. Yeah. It's not really, is it? It's a separate little figure. It's like a kind of a sidekick more than anything. And the cage. I was worried about the cage being fragile, but it's not. It's
a solid cage, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the things I liked the most, I think, in the whole thing was the spare belt that comes with it, which appears to have a baby unicorn skull attached to it.
Right.
I have to admit, for whatever reason, she's still sat there. Only part of the whole thing still sat there in a box.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like, oh, it's it's a belt with a skull on it, and you take it out, and you're like, it's a unicorn, and because of this, it's small, it must be a baby unicorn. It's like, that is brutal, but I love it.
Okay, need to revisit her to see that.
Yeah,
so you can do that at home as well if you have a Belulet. Check out the baby unicorn on the belt, as per Richard Jones. So yeah, and the bone color matches. So Necronominus, the Tuberculi, Maxilius, they're all the same standard bone color. So you can pop around between them. Yeah. So what do I have else in here? It actually was really easy to handle as a 2.0 figure as well. There was no fragility to it or anything like that. Got the hands off, popped on the bird on the arm, no problem. Or skeleton bird that still has feathers attached. Just
gotta fly somehow.
Yeah. But just added to the kind of recently plucked, recently deceased vibe.
If skeletal dwarves can have beards, there's no reason why the bird can't have a few feathers left.
Oh yeah, no, it works. It works, definitely. It just makes it a bit more macabre or something. Right, Mal. Big Greg. So, Sir Ukchak.
Yeah, absolutely a magnificent figure. Big hunk of figure, like probably one of the chunkiest figures we've got outside of the trolls. I couldn't think what they were called then. Outside of the trolls, it's probably like the next chunkiest hunk of a figure. And I know a few people have had various problems with him, but mine again blasted a bit with a bit of heat before I moved anything around. Moved brilliantly. Really smooth. Those shoulder pads are interesting. They're an interesting new addition with the two holes in the back, so that
that was a little bit confusing.
Yes, I mean for this one it works in the lower holes, and they're a slightly different style. But I'm guessing going forward we might get that torso. But we're getting it in Beradak, aren't we? But I suspect his will be a similar use of the holes, whereas there might be others moving forward where those traditional pauldron holes are what's needed and what's used. I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah, so mine moves fine, but he doesn't stand up. He keeps falling over. And I think it's too, on my one, it's too articulated at the knee or too smooth moving at the knee. So probably need to do something to stiffen up the knee joint a little bit. But it doesn't, it just constantly falls over. Like I leave it for 10 minutes anywhere.
Right, I do
Come back and it'll be on the ground or
I do have
on
a
its face.
memory of initially when I stood him, he would fall forward, and you need to. His feet initially are slightly, not his knee, his feet, his ankle joint is actually. It's really hard to tell, but he's
I messed around. I took out the feet.
did?
I messed around with them.
fair
Yeah. No, like it's at the point now where I've had enough figures to know that I kind of did enough messing around with it, and it just can't get it to easily stay standing. So bit annoying. Mine also has a bit of paint slop. It's not a big deal, but a bit of gold on the white in two places, which I mean can happen with this type of figure because it stands out then when there is a bit of. But again, wouldn't see it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I don't like the collar piece the way it's done.
Oh, really?
No, because it sits on the.
It's quite
like,
floppy and loose, isn't it?
If you know Novian Lean, Rich, the way the yellow thing, that kind of almost slots into between the pauldrons. This kind of just sits there, and you put the head over it, and it kind of sits it in place, but it kind of wobbles a bit.
And wobbles, okay.
Yeah. Not a huge fan of that. So I have to say, overall, this is probably the biggest disappointment. I mean, a pity because I love Big Greg, and it's still a great figure to have a tribute of, but mine was a bit disappointing, and
it's a shame.
Yeah. And the feet are terrible. But we've said this before. I guess the tooling budget just didn't quite stretch to more knightly looking feet.
Yeah.
And they don't work for me.
And perhaps it needs slightly larger feet with how top heavy.
Maybe that would be better, yeah. But I mean, they're quite big, and the other ogres are fine. I haven't had that problem before.
Yeah, but they haven't got as much going on at the top as
that's it. Yeah. So that's the skull that comes with them is pretty cool. That is that is an ogre orc, kind of ogre orc.
Yeah.
With the mandibles. And there's a beautiful glamorous shot. Yeah. Sir Adleric. So we're on to knights now, a few more knights. He's a bit of a sleeper of the wave, I think, for a lot of people. People kind of passed him up a little bit. But Rich, you have a few things to say on him?
Yeah, so he was my least favourite, I think. I mean, I didn't dislike him, but he was the least favourite of all the ones when they revealed the wave. Yeah, he was the first one I opened. It's like, do you know what? That blue and white's drawing me in. I need to open him first. And I was pleasantly surprised, it's fair to say. The head sculpt is much, much better in person than I thought it looked like in the pictures and everything. It works really, really well. The pauldrons are bonkers. But they're so cool. They're so flash.
They're amazing, yeah. I love them.
Yeah. I'm not sure how useful it'd be in battle, but it's just properly like, look at me, I'm wealthy. Look at my pauldrons, guys. It's that sort of look to it.
But he's this knight, I think we know from a lot of fantasy series that, is all looks the part, but as soon as stuff starts to go down, he suddenly kind of disappears,
Yeah. I was worried too about the fact that the torso was just painted as opposed to soft goods when the skirt was soft goods, but actually I think that works really well.
I don't actually.
Okay.
That that was something I found, and I don't only because I'm comparing it now to Gideon and Elijah, who we'll talk about next. It doesn't work as well. I like it that it's painted, but if you also had the soft goods to go over it, so you could choose, I think that would be amazing. But when you just get the one, I'd probably rather the soft goods. And I wouldn't have said that before. I would have said in the first place, I prefer this configuration.
Yeah.
But just in hand. And I think it's the glossiness of the paint and the more matteness of the soft goods really takes me out of it. But I guess that's me. You like it. So it's going to be one of those things where neither of us is wrong. We just like what we like.
Absolutely, yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. What surprised me, well, there's two things. Sorry, Mel, you go, then I'll go.
I was just going to say, I actually really like his plume. It's absolutely bonkers as a plume goes, but there's just something about it. It's just so daft.
I'm looking at this picture going, I can't get my plume to look like that. I'll have to have a fiddle with it later. I got purple bits sticking out lower, so I need to
figure it.
Yeah, I'm going to have a fiddle with my plume later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. I need to go and check mine now you've said that. I'll be right back.
Got mine here. Let's see if we can compare.
Two things. I was really surprised that rather than a faceplate, it was an entirely new head that came with him for the skeletal head. Oh yeah, it looks much better. Maybe I need to heat mine up and bend the plume a little bit. But yes, the fact that that the skeletal head was a second head completely threw me. It's great, but it threw me. And then if I'm really, really, really being a nitpicker, the fact he hasn't got a fancy sword bugs me. He's like he's the wealthiest knight in Mythos, and he's got a mace, and it's a lovely mace, but it's a mace and a spear. It's like he should have some sort of fancy sword.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll give you that. But there is lots of fancy swords to pick from. I'm sure you have a bunch of them in tubs in your collection.
Of the 3 knights we got with this wave, I think weirdly, because he's probably in some ways more interesting than Sir Elijah, I think he's probably my 3rd favourite of the 3, though.
Yeah, and here is Sir Elijah.
Not the devil. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that, and I know why they did it, because they can't just make everything plug and play, but the heads are slightly different sizes, but the faceplates being different plugs between a few of these, between Gideon and Adler is different, and Elijah. It's it's just a little bit annoying, but I understand that it's, you can't make everything absolutely plug and play. But for example, for the skulls, or would have been nice to swap a skull into Gideon, for example, easily.
Yeah. Well, the spare head, I said it confused me with Sir Adalric, but I took the human head off, and then it came apart. So the faceplate came off, the mask, or the visor on the helmet came off, and I was like, "Oh my god, is it meant to do that?" Because obviously we've got a completely separate head rather than just a different face. It's like, "Oh no, it is. Okay, that's fine."
Yeah, it's just because of the different plugs, I think, isn't it?
This geezer is awesome. The soft goods work so well on a Templar, which is quite scary for my wallet, because I've still got quite a few of the original Templars, and now I'm like, oh, do I want them or do I want the soft good ones?
Well, you could sell them. I don't know how.
I sold a lot I must have sold 12 of the original ones in the run up to these coming out, because I knew these were coming, but I've still got about 12.
Right.
Because I went slightly Templar bonkers.
Okay. Right, Elijah, Mal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Templar fan, as you know. Not that I dislike them, just about them. But the minute these soft goods, they've got these soft goods, they immediately become, the knights in general, become far more interesting to me and far cooler. I love the colour of his armour. That sort of gunmetal colour is really,
it's a nice. It's a nice colour, isn't it?
Yeah. and I like to display, if you've got a face sculpt, I like to display it with the face sculpt to make it a character. But the helmet he comes with is so nice. It's very pretty.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I almost tempted to get 2 so I can display him with that helmet as well. Almost.
Yeah.
Probably won't, because there's other things I want. But
I've only got the one at the moment, but eventually I'll have 3. So one will be displayed with just the unhelmeted head, one with a helmeted head because it's amazing, and then John painted up another head for me. So I will have my 3 Templar emissaries. But this helmet, again, it's the colour thing. It's like the red jewel or whatever in the middle. Just ties it into the rest of it so well.
And the gold cross.
Yeah, it does.
And I love the hammer. The hammer's possibly one of my favourite weapons they do now.
It is absolutely brutal. I was looking at it again, but you can imagine just walking around a battle at the end of it, just like finishing off anybody who's like lying on the floor groaning, and he's just like bang.
I hadn't even thought.
It's that sort of weapon. It really is that sort of weapon. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it maybe tells you something about the character, doesn't it? Through a weapon, which is pretty cool.
It's funny because I hadn't thought about that, but I was going to give the one that came in the weapons pack to a Christmas themed character and call it a Nutcracker.
That still works.
Yeah,
That's Yeah, and we have, of course, beautiful pictures from Trevor from...
Oh, Mal. Sorry, John, to interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
It just popped into my head. Mal, one of those Dwarf Lord toy design ones, had an orc with its head split open. So if you get that, then the Nutcracker can be taking care of the orc. Brutal for Christmas, but yeah. He was on the naughty list, so he had to be dealt with.
That was it.
Yeah, he's one you could get 10 of as easily, but a lot of those people that would get 10 of them are like rich who already have 10 or 20 of the original Templar, so
you see,
it's a trickier decision now.
It's an interesting one, because if I was going to get 10, and even more so now I've seen Sir Elijah, I'd save my 10 for Sir Enoch, just because I think his soft goods look even better. Well, from the pictures look even better, based on what we're seeing, are going to be amazing.
I'm going to get more of Sir Enoch than Sir Elijah, just because I prefer the lighter silver.
Yeah, I was going to say it's different colors silver, which is interesting.
It's a lot lighter on Enoch.
I mean, I get why they did that, but
I also like
it's interesting. And he comes with the big cape as well, which gives you another look on Sir Enoch. Yeah, might have to. Maybe that's what we do. We order more Sir Enoch from a retailer. Oh dear. Right, Maxilius the Harvester. He's got a very cool side as well. Not quite as bling as Necronominus, which makes sense, but really cool, and something that could maybe be reused more than the Necronominus one, because it's a little bit more generic looking.
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of a unique character in himself, so
I need to find a way to display mine. I need to find a way to put the scythe behind his back so that he's not actually holding it, because I want one of the finger hands pointing while holding the hourglass in the other one. So I need some way that the scythe's visible.
Could you loop it through that little ring at the back here, maybe?
Through the rope belt?
No, through the kind of metal.
Oh, through the hoop at the top. I hadn't tried that, John. That's a good idea. I tried the rope belt and that didn't really work particularly well. So yeah, I might.
You might just need to balance it and kind of have it kind of the handle slightly into the wing here. Yeah, and he has another accessory, which is the hourglass, which is beautiful. I mean, that's of the standard of what you get with Figura Obscura's kind of stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
That kind of mad, amazing, cool stuff that you get with the likes of the gods of ancient Egypt, and well, I mean, all the Figuras now, but you know, they had some bonkers accessories, and this is a continuation of that. Horsemen seem to be particularly good at that kind of stuff. I didn't expect the soft goods to be quite that material. I don't know. I was expecting it to be a bit heavier and more.
Right.
It was a nice surprise because actually it works way better. It's lighter and kind of it's a little bit more chiffon, kind of almost. It works really well. But I suppose my lack of imagination, I was just thinking, plain, boring material kind of cut with, some wire in it to make it shape a little bit better. But the way this material is, it's kind of better. It's almost a little bit layered, is it? Or it feels like it's layered.
Feels like it. I know what you mean. Absolutely, especially around the sort of sleeves and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've taken it off one of the figures and I can't remember. I can't even remember where I've put it. But yeah.
Taking off confused the hell out of me because I was expecting like a Velcro or something on the back. Yeah. And it's not. It's like arms up and lift over the top of the head sort of look. Yeah. And it's like, okay.
It's like when you're helping your 4-year-old kid to get dressed back in the day, arms in the air, pull the jumper off.
Yeah, and the soft goods kept catching. When I was trying to do that, the soft goods kept catching on the spine.
Yes.
So all the bones sticking out on the spine. Every one, it was like, a nugget. It's like, oh my God.
I think did I end up popping the arms out, which was interesting as well, because of course, with it being up in the sleeves, I was like, this is going to be difficult to heat up. I think I dunked it with it on and then popped them out, pulled it off that way, but it was still getting caught on his ribs and his spines and all that. But, yeah. So
the problems we have, huh?
It's pathetic, isn't it?
At this point, I should say mine was a casualty of war as well. So I took the first head off, went to put the second head off, and the neck just snapped straight off. First time I've ever had a breakage. That hasn't been my fault with a 4 Horseman figure, so I'll take that as a positive because I've opened hundreds. But yeah, this is the first one for me. So Emporium McCall hopefully will do me a solid. Or if they listen to this podcast, maybe they won't.
The armor over the top of the soft goods then is amazing. I didn't expect it to be that good.
No.
But it really ups the value of this figure in compared to the Legion Builder. If you were thinking what you're getting beyond the Legion Builder is the soft goods, no, you're getting the soft goods, but also this amazing armor and then this thing over the back with the wings and everything. It's absolutely bonkers.
It is. I don't think I'd managed to forget the fact there were wings there. And then when I opened it up, it was like a moment because it's like, those are so good.
I also think, why were you changing the head sculpt on it? You don't need to, because the one
on it is better. But the picture I sent you boys was what I'm going to do for the Ghost of Christmas Future. And I wanted just a normal head sculpt on that one. So it's basically your fault because I was changing it over to show the picture to you guys and then it snapped off. So,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have him as Maxilius or Maxillus, it is, isn't it? No, Cilius with the sculpt with no eyes. But then, of course, I've got him displayed as a skeleton, and I've got another one on order from Big Bad that I'm going to display as the Grim Reaper. So I shall also be doing what Rich is doing.
Careful with the neck, Matt.
Well, I've done one already without a problem. So.
All right, show off. It's my big sausage fingers. It was just like, yeah.
This is it. This is where having smaller fingers is probably a good thing.
Right. The Tuberculi.
Best figure.
Did you manage to get him out and break him, Rich?
I got him out. I haven't broken him. It took me quite a while to figure out how the tail went on.
Right.
Because it was like, it can't go on that way. That doesn't make sense. And then eventually it was like, oh, it does go on that way. Right, okay. I love this guy, though. I mean, I'm going to rip him apart and use him for pieces for a lot of stuff. So the long arms, the picture I showed you guys was for my Ghost of Christmas Future sort of thing with the giant, long, crazy arms. But he's a great figure.
Yeah, I'm already contemplating buying a few more in April when the excesses of March have passed.
You think
So
they're going to
many
pass
ideas.
into like, total calm now? No more, no more calls on the wallet. No.
My wallet is taking a beating this month, alongside the dragon part of that.
Yeah, I love this guy. This guy you can just play with for ages.
Yeah.
I love the slightly odd scale with the dwarf. Thighs. Jeez. there was just bones, so I was like, what is that called? Thigh. Yeah, and then obviously the extra long arms. So I mean, I think we're a good step of the way towards the ogre skeleton a bit with this guy. We also have dwarf skeleton, obviously, with Scally Bone Splitter. But
Need
you're almost
dwarf
getting there with
shins, though,
full
don't we?
bone, you know.
Yeah.
The dwarf shins.
Yeah, we need full dwarf bones. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But there's not much. It's probably just that, maybe. And then they can do the dwarf.
It is. I think it is just the shins, isn't it? Because
yeah.
I think Scally comes.
They could do. They might
the
need.
arms
I think the arms as well. Maybe the forearm would be better as well. Yeah.
I love the tail. I have to admit, it was took me a second to realize it was bendable, because that's part of the reason I was struggling to get the tail on. It's like, that's not going to stand. I don't. I was like, you're an idiot. Just bend the tail. There we go. But I've got a dragon, an undead dragon, or dragonkin, not dragon, and then a dragonkin figure, which I can use the tail for now.
Oh, nice.
So that will enhance that figure nicely.
Yeah, he's great, and you get a bunch of different hands with him. Also, those bigger hands to go with the bigger arms, which is.
I tried those bigger hands on Maxilius, and it was like, no, that just doesn't work. I wanted it to be like a crazy big, like creepy hand, and it's like, no, just on the shorter arms. That just looks weird.
But it could probably work for some sort of photography, for some really good photographer that has the kind of hand, and then Maxilius that could really work with a bit of forced perspective or something like that. Yeah, he's got a bunch of cool weapons as well. I mean, we've had these before, but they are particularly cool. 2 of the same kind of machetes, and that curved bladed short.
I think it's the Orc Bone Sword, John, I believe is the first one.
Okay, there you go. And different heads here, and we'll also get some more heads.
The different heads for me, it's just like, it's the same head, but without the horns, and the horns are brilliant, so I don't really need the second head. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure I could take it off and put it on a different figure with a hood, maybe, and it would actually look really cool.
It's funny because, I mean, I've got the horned one because I just really like that one. It's got sort of Skaven vibes to it. But yeah, some of the pictures I've seen people have done with the non-horned head, and I'm like, that does actually look really, really good with that head. He's got so much character considering it's just bones. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, really, really like it.
And you can, I'm going to put this up on the screen here. You can also use the double neck from the Chimera. And my kid put the Calavius helmet on there.
That
looks cool, really actually.
Well. Yeah.
I left it on because it looks cool. So yeah, you can do the double neck thing. So very cool. There's so much mixing and matching with this guy.
Oh yeah. I've just sent you guys a picture of somebody using the hornless head in an amazing custom. So actually, you can use it, and it looks great.
Right.
Who pull up the name of the person? It was. Oh, good God! It had to be a name spelled like that, didn't it? Maverick Requetek.
Okay.
Yes, Requetek, I think. But yeah, just an awesome. Let me just put it in the camera. It's pretty too bright, but it's.
I'll try and add it here.
The Tuberculi one with Necronominus pieces and some the Zende cloak, and then he's bought a staff from somebody else. But it's it went straight in. It went straight into my full customs of the year options folder.
Oh, wow!
The end of year.
Straight in. Well done, Maverick. Yeah, so there you see him. Looks great.
Yeah, such a cool figure.
I think you're right. That head does look good in the
does.
the soft goods.
That's the sort of shit I hope I don't see at Legion's Con, because that might be coming home with me if I do.
Hilarious. All right. On the home stretch here now, last figure is Undead Builder Pack. So this is the zombie and the kind of translucent skeleton dude. Obviously, Mal's favorite between the two. I prefer the zombie.
Me too.
I immediately popped all the... No, he comes with the translucent
Comes with the
parts,
ghost
doesn't
sort of translucent
Yeah.
part, yeah.
So I just stuck that head on the top of him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. The only other one I then want is the from the heads pack from the All Stars, where it's just got the stub, and so that'll be my zombie one. Is no head.
Damn it, I forgot about that, Mal. That's another one. The only problem with this is it's a deluxe. So you want like 6, and you're like, oh,
know,
God, it's
yeah.
going to cost a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when it gets to retail, deluxe is even a bit more. So
Yeah.
and I'm not sure there'll be sales on this guy. So,
But all of it, I mean, there's 4 heads, and they're all really good, clever
Yeah.
sculpts. Even the translucent ones, yes, they're translucent.
was
which is a
it
bit
weird
but
that it came in the box with the skull without the jaw?
yes, I would have expected. Well, first of all, I'd expected it to come with the zombie parts on. I was quite surprised it came with the ghost parts. That to me
Agreed.
didn't make sense.
Agreed. Yeah.
But maybe they think somebody looking on a shelf in a shop will think, well, actually, they might miss the translucent parts, whereas they'll see the separate zombie limbs. Maybe that's all I can think of with that.
But for me, it looked like, oh, do I need to search the box for the lower jaw? And then I had to look at the reference photos to see that actually that's how that head comes. So that seemed like a weird choice to me.
Yeah. No, I'm going to use the jawless head that it comes with. I'm going to use that with one of the blue wisp sort of effects. And it pains me to say this, with some blue Hagnon parts that I have. I didn't buy a blue Hagnon. I clarify that straight away. But
What, you steal it?
No, Stefan Delator popped them in. I bought some figures off him. He popped those in as a freebie. So I have
Nice.
the blue Hagnon limbs.
Good man, Steph.
I'm joined by a cat now for this part of the show.
Oh, there you go. Look.
But yes, so I will use that for that. Yeah, basically, but with the bluer limbs sort of thing. So
Awesome. And this is a great figure, though. I really like it. And
the spare ankles that he came with, is that in case you want to use a armored foot, but you can still see the ankle that is ghostly or zombie?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe just if you had some feet around and I think it's great that they come with those type of parts, because those are the parts that you don't get.
Oh, yeah.
From 3D places. So even if you got a set of 3D feet, you'd have ankle joints to be able to attach them.
And while we're talking about extra things that come with them, the spare neck that seems to come with everything.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same as the one that's on the figure.
It is the same, yeah.
Why give us a second?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm sure I could use it for other figures who haven't got that more articulated neck. It just seems a strange decision.
I did see some theories, but then as far as I know, they just said, no, we just put them in, If you want to use the head on another figure, I think was the point, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
extra heads.
I just took it all as being like...
I will not complain. They keep doing that.
Oh, no. No way, shape or form am I complaining. I was just confused as hell.
Yeah. And I assume it wasn't a mistake because it would seem too consistent.
Yeah. Mm.
I love that zombie jaw head.
It's so good, isn't it? With
that was a great idea
open.
to do.
Yeah.
You see it really well there in the glamour shot from Trevor. So, how about ranking them?
Oh,
lordy.
Or even...
I'm going to say Ukjak, Bishop, and Conobus at bottom of mine because I don't have them. So that'll make it easier.
Right, favorite. Then should we go around the house for favorite on this?
Belulet.
Belulet for you. Okay, Mal.
Tuberculi for me.
Tuberculi for me. I'm gonna go Gideon for me. Yeah, he just such a great figure. One of the figures that got me in the line in the first place was Gideon. I know I started with Advent, but I got a Gideon through the in-stock sale and really liked him. Just that knight figure, and this one blows that one out of the water. So, and if that's the standard for the future, we're in for a treat.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. My favorite of the bad guys then probably would be Belulet as well, or Tuberculi. I'm going to go Tuberculi. Just too much fun. Yeah. And of the good guys then for you, Mal?
Yeah, Sir Gideon. Yeah, he's just
Sir Gideon.
Yeah, realistically, it's like 1A, 1B, isn't it? With him and Tuberculi for me, anyway. Yeah.
And Rich?
Sir Elijah. Sir Gideon's
Elijah.
a better figure, but I'm never going to pick a gold knight over a silver knight.
Yeah.
So Sir Elijah wins.
But you are going to pick a 2.0 as your favorite.
I am, as per normal. Despite what I generally say, I am 100% picking it as possibly, one of my favorite figures they've
and
ever
he was nearly picking Sir Adler, the one that he wasn't even interested or as interested in as his favorite good guy.
Yeah, it was worth the wait for these figures. It's fair to say this is the best wave without a shadow of a doubt in hand. They're fabulous.
Yeah, and we've got not far around the corner. I mean, we've all got Dragon on the brain, but not far around the corner we have All-Star 6 dropping in our mailboxes.
Yeah, Jeremy was saying he was hoping, I can't remember where he said it. I don't think it might have been our show actually, but he was saying they hope to have them on the water sort of thing by the end of March. So they'll be going out mid-May sort of thing. And it's like, wow, that's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, the All-Stars figures of that wave might look a bit plain now, judging on this wave. Might start to look a little bit
creepy.
Underwhelming compared to what the other ones get. Hopefully they didn't overstock themselves too much on those, because they might be left with them for a while otherwise.
If they made a load of Clavians, they're in all sorts of bother, but hopefully they won't.
You've been consistent on that too, to be fair.
I have. And in fairness, I'm probably going to buy 2 Clavians, but that's not the point. It's like a waste of time figure.
You paint anything red and there seems to be a bunch of mugs out there who'll call it Fury and stick it in that group. So
yeah, Fury Skeleton, I think is definitely good. And using the red limbs, people will come up with stuff for that. Right? That's it. So what are we going to do next week then? We're in Dragon Limbo now. We'll obviously have Dragon Update, but outside of that, we'll have to think of other stuff. Maybe get a guest, I don't know.
Or I could do a load of faction stuff again. I know if you're feeling tired, John, we could do that, because I know you do like to just lean back and just go to sleep when I'm doing my faction stuff. So
if you could just record that and send it over.
And send it to you, no problem. What I will be doing actually this week, so it'll be fine for next week, is the 2 Red Hellions that I was gifted by Ben McCall and Eugene Unick. I will be writing bios for them and taking some pictures. So we can cover those maybe, if nothing else.
Speaking of Eugene, he sent me his pins, because I forgot to get them at Legion's Con. We were talking. And so he sent me these 4 pins. So I've completed my
very nice.
He's a good lad, Eugene.
I have a little pin display like Mal has in the background there, and Eugene's 4 pins filled up the bottom of it. So I think I need to get another one for future pins. So fun to have a little pin collection as well on the wall. Easy to display.
It's weird. I'm not bothered about these pins. Yeah, me 20 years ago, I'd have been all over the pins. But for some reason, they're not doing much for me.
No. And you have a Mark Calvo order underway, Rich? Is that
I
right?
do. He's painting stuff at the moment. I'm inspired. he painted a dragon head for me, and the next thing you know, you put a post out going, "Yeah, I'm doing more dragons. I'm loving this." So there's gonna be all sorts of colours up for sale. He painted an ogre snake man head for me. He just finished it earlier on today. Actually, sent the pictures through for that. That looks really good. So yeah, Mark's stuff's amazing. So that'll be coming to you, John.
Very cool.
Forward on to me. So
yeah, I recorded an episode with Curtis of his How'd They Do That Art by Ackerman channel for my kind of aliens, you know, the translucenty or not translucenty, fluorescenty type paint jobs, that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming out at the end of this month, I think. So I think he drops them every Monday. So I think I'm not next Monday, but the Monday after. So look out for that. I'm sure we'll share it on the page as well and let you know. So
you had me
coming
seriously
to you next, Rich.
Yeah, art with Rich. So this is how you draw a non-straight line. I was about to say, John, you had me well trained with those fluorescent things at Legion's Con. I tell you, and you disappeared off, and I was covering the table. And somebody came over. I was straight on the black light, showing them, look, there you go, and sold two.
Okay, that's
totally worked. There we go.
I never said that they took artists. Actually, they go up by black. I suppose people know that by now.
Yeah,
they're sick of it. Going to have to think of a new trick for this year. Yeah, I'm going to have to start painting more stuff for starts. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. And
just do various burnt versions of characters.
It might be a year early. I think that might be Legion's Con 26.
Yeah,
26.
And we'll all have our can of beams order in soon as well, because David will be shipping the box over soon. So yeah,
and
get those out to you boys.
The barbarians that Red picked up for me and you, Mal, they're in Zurich today. Yay. So maybe for next week we can also have a little look at barbarians in hand.
Yay!
So if you bore the shite out of us with your factions, Rich, we can have barbarians.
I was going to say, yeah, you guys enjoy your show. I'll just wash my hair or something.
The fact they're in Switzerland is quite good, isn't it? Because usually a barbarian is a neutral character in when it comes to D&D. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Flew past my house to go to Zurich.
I thought that was good, Mal. I think John missed it, but I thought that was
good. I'll get it on the listen back on the edit. I'm like, oh, that was really funny. Why was I just like a gormless idiot as he was saying that? Cool. So lots of stuff happening, really. Lots of stuff happening. So anyway, go check out last week's episode about the dragon. That's a good one.
Do everybody. I really enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah. And subscribe on YouTube or subscribe on Spotify, all those other ones.
Yeah. Remember to smash that like button too if you watch the video on YouTube.
Yeah. And join our Patreon if you want to get more cool stuff from us. A couple of bonus episodes. We need to do more. Rich was to do some interviews, hasn't done them yet. So thought I'd publicly get into you about that.
Shame me, that's fine. I will contact people this week. Also, we did a live episode in a couple of weekends' time as well, which I will also be contacting people about.
And there'll be more quizage.
There will quizage and some more of my drawings. So if you're a sucker for punishment and love them as much as Mal does, then there will be more drawings.
I like it. Alrighty, that's your lot for this week.
Stay safe out there, everybody. Watch out for a heavy box arriving late with lots of conibus and bishops and Sir Jackson.